Alright then, I hope you can see me and I hope you can hear me. If you can hear me, that's a good sign. If you can see me, that's a good sign. It may be a bit blurry, maybe a bit not great quality, but I'll do my best to improve that. You can see the background behind it. That is my image. That is the image I've chosen for my podcast show. I'm a beginner, and I also want to say that I do apologize. I did not upload yesterday, as I was really busy. I was busy today as well, but thankfully I found the time today. So I want to get straight into it. Without further ado, welcome to the second episode of the Hidden Agendas podcast by myself, Amir Akram. And previous episode we discussed about religion, conspiracy theories, and politics, how these three topics intertwine in modern society, and why I believe that there are politicians out there who serve no one but the secret society. The actors in Hollywood, the singers, they don't just sing and act all day long. They work for a secret society. The politicians, they work for a secret society. We may think and say that these politicians are representing us, but I wish that was true. These politicians are not doing anything for us. Keir Starmer's not doing anything for us. Marine Le Pen is not doing anything for the French people. The AfD will not do anything for the German people. Neither will Geert Wilders for the Netherlands. Neither will Giorgia Meloni for Italy. Neither will Volodymyr Zelensky for Ukraine. While the world is at war, people are still divided. As a Pakistani, I've received racism, mainly from Afghans and black people, but I want to sit and say that I don't hate anyone. I love everyone, and if we get along, then it will be the best thing ever. I don't believe that we're enemies. I believe that we are allies, and I believe that there's an establishment out there who are trying to divide us, who are trying to make us hate each other, put us in boxes and make us hate each other. This is called nationalism. This is called racism. And as a practicing Muslim, I will also say that I will take accountability for any action I do. I will not blame it on anyone else. I'm not Tommy Robinson. I'm not Marine Le Pen. I'm not Emmanuel Macron. I'm not anyone like these politicians who will blame another religion instead of themselves for failing to protect their own country. As a Muslim, I will blame myself for a mistake I've made. Every Muslim out there should. And if Muslims commit such a heinous of acts like, the UK grooming scandals which I found out about recently. So has many people, many celebrities, Elon Musk as well, who has raised a lot of concerns about that and who has demanded Keir Starmer to resign and to release controversial anti-Islam figure, anti-Islamic preacher, Tommy Robinson from jail. Why is Tommy Robinson in jail? Because I think that he instigated a riot a year ago that targeted Muslims when the media falsely claimed that the man who killed those 3 girls in Southport in Merseyside in the UK was a Syrian refugee Muslim. And then by the time that it was debunked that no, it was no Syrian Muslim, though it was a Rwandan, British-born, Christian, autistic kid who killed those 3 girls in Merseyside. But by that time it was too late. The rioters who attacked their own country, burned down their own country, attacked immigrants, attacked the police, set buildings on fire. A terrible time in the UK. But I have to say it's probably the worst riot in the UK since the 2011 riots that initially happened in London and then it spread elsewhere thanks to social media. My point is that we need to reunite as a group, as a community, and take down these suckers, take down these guys who are working for the Israeli regime. And I'll also get to why I think Trump is absolutely wrong about the Gaza thing he said, that Gazans, the Palestinians, should leave Gaza and give it to the state of Israel. Many people have condemned his statement, not only by other leaders, not only by the Arab League, who I think are useless, but also by his own Republican politicians. A certain Rand Paul opposes statement. I oppose his statement. Many celebrities you see out there, like Beck Lover, also probably opposes his statement. The Palestinians belong to Palestine. That is where the Palestinians are Arabs. They belong to the state of Palestine. They belong to the Holy Land. The state of Israel was created to weaken the Middle East, to increase interests, to serve the Israeli state, to serve the American state. Unfortunately, now we have Arab leaders, who have turned into traitors, who have turned into these bull-sucking leaders who have consumed more money, more lust, and more alcohol than anything else. They are traitors of the Muslim world. And the Palestinians are no one but patient, loving people. If you look at the state of Israel, the Israeli civilians who have such hatred for Jesus, such hatred for the Arabs, how can you call yourself a Christian and allow these pigs to insult Jesus. Any criticism towards the prophets will be condemned by myself, will be condemned by any other Muslim out there. And I want to make this clear. Any criticism towards the prophets, if you're a Muslim as well, will exclude you from the religion. And this is what I said in my previous episode as well. Jesus, peace be upon him, is a prophet, a messenger, the Messiah, the anointed one, the chosen one. We agree with the Christians. His birth was miraculous. A better question with the Christian is, why do you think we don't accept Jesus when the Jews don't even accept Jesus? The Jews in Israel were, well, Zionists, who not only curse Jesus, but curse the mother of Jesus, calling her the W word, rhymes with floor. Call her I don't even want to say because that's how offensive it is. They call Jesus a false prophet. They call him a magician. The Jewish Talmud, which says such awful things about Jesus and says such awful things about non-Jews, that non-Jews should be killed, non-Jews should be tortured. I'm basically a non-Jew, a Christian is a non-Jew, a Hindu is a non-Jew. Now, I don't know if you've seen the video of a rabbi who said that you have 6 billion idol worshippers who makes God angry in every second of their life, basically referring to Christians and Hindus who worship Krishna, or what they call Bhagawan, right? And you have the Christians who take Jesus as their Lord. Now, as a Muslim, I do condemn what this rabbi said, because the Quran says good things about the Jews, says good things about the Christians. Quran 5:82, speak highly to the Christians, for they are closer to you in faith, because their priests and monks are not arrogant. And the Jews and the Christians are seen as the Ahl Kitab in the Quran, the people of the book. Now, you cannot tell me that the Quran says such awful things about the Christians and Jews. Yeah, the Christians and the Jews are often criticized, but aside from all that, there's also good things in there. Now, what the Quran says about the Christians is that do not take Jesus, his mother, as deities, for Jesus was sent by that one true God. Now, just because Jesus' birth was miraculous doesn't mean he's divine. He was sent by God. John the Baptist as well, in Islam, also known as Yahya alayhi salam, he was born without physical relations. His mother and father, Zachariah, of course, mother's name, but Zachariah never had physical relations with his wife. Hence, John the Baptist came along. God said that, fine, you're in old age, you cannot have physical, so I'll give you a son. But that does not mean that John the Baptist came from God, like in a biological way. Same thing with Jesus. Now, in the Bible as well, it says that Jesus is not God. Now, I still have to learn about all this, but there are many verses in the Bible that does say that Jesus is not God. And as Muslims, we respect Jesus. But to say that Jesus is God means that we're blasphemizing God. We can't do that. God is one. God cannot be a person, because if God was to be a person, then God is limiting himself. God can't limit himself. Jesus slept. He ate. He went to the toilet. He did things that an average human being can do, right? So, this is why we Muslims don't believe in Jesus as God. We don't believe him as divine, but we believe in Jesus. We believe that a revelation was revealed to him, but it was tampered, it was altered by men, by a certain man known as Paul, who was of the Pharisees, the Jews. And Jesus in the Bible does condemn the Pharisees. He condemned other Jewish religious groups, for they insulted Jesus, for they rejected his claim. Now, I don't know how this is seen as, how this is not even viewed by Christians, because the Christians want to say that there's nothing wrong with the Jews. Well, I'm sorry, but the Jews criticize Jesus. Throughout history, many Christian empires have mocked the Jews, have excluded the Jews from certain empires across Europe, Spain, the UK, Germany, France, Prussia, Russia, Austria-Hungary, Italy, everywhere. It was the Muslim empires, the Arab Muslim empires, who were the only one to give refuge to the Jews. Now, we have our differences, but they are still the Ahl Kitab, the people of the book. As per the Sharia law, we impose a tax system known as the jizya, a form of protection, where the Jews and the Christians must pay a certain amount. And guess what? They don't have to, they're exempt from military service. They don't have to fight in the army. It only even applies to, the jizya doesn't apply to you if you are disabled. It doesn't apply to you if you are in the military. The jizya is a form of protection. Your rights are given. You can have jobs. You can live in a house. Your house won't even get robbed because you're a Jew or a Christian. Look around the world when it's vice versa, when the Christians are ruling over the Muslims. Not every Christian kingdom, not every Christian land, but I'll give you an example, like the Yugoslav wars, where a certain president of Yugoslavia, of Serbia, Slobodan Milosevic, who killed many, many people. And then there's another military general known as Ratko Mladic, who is still alive, still serving in jail when he was prosecuted in 2017. After what? Years of justice finally comes. 20 years of delay, justice finally arrives. Now, from July, it'll be 30 years, 3 decades since the Srebrenica genocide, where many Bosniak Muslims, men and boys, were killed, where thousands of women were raped by the Republika Srpska forces backed by the Yugoslavia. Well, justice delayed is justice denied, but now it eventually comes. And the United Nations, I must say, is probably the most useless organization ever. You can't tell me that's just. For 2 years, was it 2 years? Yeah, 2 years. Well, 1 year and 3 months on. I still like to say 2 years since the Gaza genocide started on October the 7th. Now, many say that Hamas are terrorists for attacking Israel. We've got to put historical context into it. Why did Hamas attack Israel? Give some context regarding the Intifadas, 1987, the 1960s. The PLO, Hamas, came around, the 60s, the late 80s. Before then, what was Israel doing? You should look up the King David Hotel, where Zionist militias bombed a hotel full of British forces. Right? If that's not terrorism, I don't know what is. These guys are the first guys who started committing terrorist acts. Their society is full of hatred, full of nationalism. And I'm not saying that I hate Jews. I'm not saying I hate Jews. I've been given respect by Jews. My mom has been treated respectfully by Jews. I respect Jews because they are the Ahl Kitab. I cannot say that they're bad people because they are recognized by God as, divine people. They worship one God. At least recognize Moses. That's something I can respect. The Christians recognize Jesus and Moses. Many don't respect or recognize Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, but you should read the Bible where Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, is mentioned in Isaiah 29:12, in John 16. Now, I don't claim to be a Bible expert. I'm still learning, but I want to point this out. So, you have these Israelis who claim to be some sort of big notch guy, like, Israel has every right to defend themselves. Let me tell you something. Killing children, killing women, killing innocent people is not self-defense. You're telling me that children whose heads were cut off, arms, legs, babies, I've seen babies who don't even have a leg, they don't have a limb, and you're telling me that is, that's self-defense? Zionism is the real reason why the Middle East is in war. Many people fail to recognize that. Libya, Iraq, Yemen, Syria, Lebanon, why these countries are affected by war is because of the Israeli regime. Many people are too blind to see that, but this is the reality. The American state, the United States of America, is colonized by the state of Israel indirectly. Why are all these American politicians prioritizing Israel? Like Trump, he said he would cut foreign aid. I'm like, cool. Cut foreign aid for once. He's able to, help his people. But guess what? He wants to give money to Israel. You just said that you wanted to cut foreign aid. The American people can't even afford to pay their bills. The American people can't even afford to pay their bills, and their own politicians are giving them money to states who don't even deserve it. That's like me saying that I should give £5 to my friend when I have £5 left in my bank account. I can barely even get myself a meal from a restaurant. Like, really? This is what I'm saying. You have politicians in this country, in America, North America, in Europe, in Southeast Asia, in the Arab League, who do not support us. They are not of us. Keir Starmer. I actually hate Keir Starmer. Like, the UK is that bad of a country now. Now, I'll be honest here. I'm a British citizen. I love this country. I love London. I've been living here for 10 years plus now. I've had a British citizenship since I was young. Since I was like, when I was a kid, as young as 2 or 3. Now, I moved to places here and there, but as much as this country is crazy, as much as the city is violent, it's still a great city, and it's so terrible what's happening to it. And I want everyone to know that I love people. I will not sit and say that, you're a bad person because you're black, or you're a bad person because you're white. In my own experience, I've been given respect by white people and Indians, and I've not been given that much respect by Afghans or black people, but I still support everyone. if we keep fighting, we're not gonna get along. If we keep arguing over a stupid border from like 80, 70 years back, then we're not gonna ever move on. Like, these politicians, the establishment, the secret society, they are happy that we're fighting. They are happy that we're not getting along. They are happy that, they're looking at us like, wow, he's so stupid. He's fighting with his neighbor. This is my message to the Indians. This is my message to the Afghans, that we are not enemies. We have the United States of America, the British, who divided us, hence why we are fighting. I do not want to fight against Indian Hindus. I know Indian Hindus who've shown me more respect than some Pakistanis even have. Now, since the 1971 Indo-Pakistani War, where Bangladesh won their independence with the help of India from Pakistan, East Pakistan to Bangladesh. Now, with the departure of Sheikh Hasina, many Bangladeshis are now much more favorable to us, which I do respect. And then you have the Hindutva, who are getting so mad and angry about Bangladeshis being friends with Pakistanis. Oi, don't forget Operation Searchlight. Oi, don't forget that we saved you from Pakistan, who tried to kill you, Yahya Khan. Now, this is my message about them. I think Yahya Khan is a traitor. I think Zulfikar Ali Bhutto is a traitor who killed many Bengalis in the Operation Searchlight genocide where Bengalis were killed. I support everyone. I condemn any genocide done by even the Muslims. There was a point where I was ashamed of being Pakistani because of what the Pakistanis did to Bangladesh. There was a point where I was ashamed of being Pakistani for the involvement in Afghanistan. There was a moment where I was ashamed of being Pakistani, that the military establishment in Pakistan had something to do with the 26/11 attacks in Mumbai back in 2008. I felt disgusted, I felt humiliated, and this is my message, that we are friends, we need to get along. If we keep fighting, if we keep arguing over something so stupid that happened a while back, then we're never going to be friends. The establishment are laughing at us. This is my message. I think I'm going to seize it here. 20 minutes have gone past. It's around 7:45 where I'm in London. So, yeah, let me know your thoughts on what I've said. I think I rambled and waffled so much that, there's really nothing much to comment on, but please do leave me a comment on what you think about, conspiracy theories, religion, politics, what you think of the ongoing immigration crisis in Europe, what you think of these far-right leaders in Europe, what you think about politics, what you think of the secret society. The secret society, I also wanted to talk about a few things, but since I'm out of time, I can do in the next episode, which will probably be either Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday next week. So I'm not going to do it on the weekend, unfortunately, because, I believe that's my rest days. Yeah, let me know your thoughts. I also wanted to say something about a certain Christian preacher known as Sam Shamoon, who insulted a girl known as Lily J, who simply debunked his argument on 14 versions of the Quran, which I have to say is wrong. No. There are different recitations, but the one version of the Quran is still the same. And guess what? He called Lily J the W word, which rhymes with floor, right? And he calls her the S word for girls, right? I'm not going to even say because that's how offensive it is, but yeah, I'm going to get to that in the next episode. I'm still learning, I'm still new to podcasting, so if you like this podcast, please follow me, listen to me, and also I want to promote a few products. I'm not sponsored by this company, but it's called Forever Living Products. They're really good in skincare, really good in weight loss. If you're interested in these things, then do please tell me about it. I can leave a link in my bio. If you're watching on YouTube, if you're listening to this on Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Podbean, anything like that, I will drop a code as well, so you can get 15 or 10% off for a milkshake, which you can get, and a lotion known as the Aloe Moisturizing Lotion, which unbelievably helped my hands. My hands were ripped apart. That's just how cold it is in the UK. If you want something like, that can help your skin, any product that can help your skin, any product that will help with your weight, you should check out Forever Living Products. You should use the link in my bio. It's an affiliate link, and I will see you in the next episode. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you're watching on YouTube, please like, subscribe, comment, and also share. If you're listening to this on Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Podbean, you know how it works, then do please follow me and leave your thoughts on what you thought of this episode tonight. Well, wherever you're listening from. Goodbye, guys.